spins right, slips two defenders, and then scores midair. It's around Wheaton, off the bounce, shot, and a score. Wow.
They on the move.
Near side, sets up a shot and a score for Miller. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Who's the man? Spellman's the man. That's who. Shot, score. It's hat trick time for Mike Durkin.
For the steps, line comes over.
Shot, score.
One with Hall.
There he is.
There's the pass, there's the score, and there's the win.
Up top, Druin.
He wants a shot, and he's got it. Wow.
Kerkorian behind the cage.
It's a dash to his right, wraps it around for the goal. Hale gets inside, shot, and score for the victory. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over.
Oh, okay. I bet I could have gotten this 3.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Exeter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you, getting set for the NHIAA Division I semifinal between Pinkerton and Exeter. It's the third matchup. These two teams met twice late in the regular season. Both were 2-goal Exeter wins. Final scores of 12-10 and 9-7. Pinkerton seemingly has gotten better. They have survived Londonderry in the quarterfinal round. And after Exeter easily dispatched with Dover, the scene is set for round number 3. And again, on the other hand, the old adage in sports is it's tough to beat a team 3 times. That's the challenge for Exeter. Well, Pinkerton, used to being in the championship game, certainly don't want to fall short of those perennial expectations.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Pinkerton comes into this game a little more battle-tested, my opinion, having to have played Londonderry 3 times in maybe 2-week span?
Yeah.
And those were not easy games for them. I heard that game in Londonderry, where Londonderry did end up beating Pinkerton the second time before the playoffs, that was a rough and tumble game. So I got to think that this team is a little more battle-tested than Exeter, although Exeter did, as you said, took care of them during the regular season.
Pinkerton, of course, is technically the 2-time defending champion, although, as we know, in 2020 there was no lacrosse statewide due to the COVID-19 situation. Since then, Steve Gaudreau has taken over control of the program, the now second-year head coach, enjoying his first year of on-field action, of course replacing longtime Astro head man Brian O'Reilly, who is still the athletic director at Pinkerton and the football coach, but O'Reilly had been there for 37 years. So Coach Gaudreau, who, by the way, has spent time at the NCAA level, 6 years as head coach with St. Anselm, and really can bring a different dynamic on the sideline. Meanwhile, Jerry Hawley, he's been there nearly 2 decades with Exeter. His son Connor, one of the standout seniors. So a lot of different, interesting storylines as we begin to dive into this semifinal.
Yeah, Steve Gaudreau, he certainly has big shoes to fill here, coming off of Coach O'Reilly's great tenure and success at Pinkerton. It'll be very interesting to see how he comes out here today. But he, too, has been battle-tested. He's come a long way with this team, having 2020 off, basically, and not being able to work with his boys. And, due to NHIAA regulations, you can only do so much during the school year with those boys as well. So, give that a little bit more time than just a full 12 months.
Right.
So it'll be great to see what he can do out there. Coach Hawley, as you said, long tenure here. They met in 2019 in this
in the semifinals.
In the semifinals, 12-7 win by Pinkerton, who then went on to win the championship that year. So there's some history there. These teams go way back in the playoffs. They go back even to 2018 in the semifinal round as well, where Pinkerton won that one 13-8. So
there you go. So if you're Exeter, can you get over that hump, shatter that ceiling?
Exactly where I was heading with that.
And punch your ticket to the championship game. Of course, Pinkerton, they've been there on and off for the better part now of forever. All right, when we come back, we'll get Roger's keys to the game, and then the opening face-off here on a hot and humid afternoon in early June. It's all on the line in meeting number 3. Exeter and Pinkerton coming up next. You are watching Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. It's presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
All right, 5 seconds. All right, here we go. Opening face-off. 2021 Division I semifinal here on the boys' side. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. An early start time. We may see some tough weather later on this afternoon. It's hot, it's humid, it's been muggy. This ground ball, by the way, is finally snatched up by Pinkerton and the Astros. Well, if they can clear it, they're going to have a chance on the attack here to begin the game. The pass comes on the near side. And stepping over the 50 is Joey Gallo, one of the standout sophomores for Coach Gaudreau. All right, Pinkerton, Roger. What do they need to do to get it done this afternoon?
Well, first key of the game was right there at the start of the whistle, face-offs. You already saw Bundle come out on the face-off there instead of Spencer Clark. They need to keep his body fresh and out of the circle today. So if they can win face-offs and keep them away from number 8, Cole Frank, then that's going to be key number 1. Stay tuned.
Senior Hunter Druin takes 2 spills. Somehow survives with the ball in his stick here on the near side. Looks backdoor. Has a man on the weak side as it takes 1 hop through the zone. And now the pesky defender causes a turnover behind the cage. That's Connor Hawley, the aforementioned coach's son, number 7 in the home gray uniform. Makes a nice defensive play to force the giveaway. Now Hawley looking to find some room here in the middle. Crosses the 50 and advances the ball. And now Exeter set to set up shop here on the attack. Well, we've seen this guy, Roger, Aiden Drunzik, do some damage. The junior UMass commit. We'll have our eyes on him. He's behind the cage right now. Meanwhile, on the far side wing, losing his stick is Gavin Lettner, the sophomore attackman, able to atone by scooping it back up. And now the pass moved over. Top of the box, this is Jackson Hale. Gave it a look. And now Hale going to backtrack to about the 34. Trying to shimmer off the defender, moves to his right, thinking about it. Pass taken behind the cage. Options here for Jake Mantell, and now it's Drunzik deep behind net. One-on-one here with the defender. That, of course, is Pinkerton's Kyoshi Dustin, one of their top seniors. Going to draw that Drunzik assignment today, a tough one for anyone.
It will be tough.
Meanwhile, on the wing, just no shots here, Roger, as Pinkerton continues to shift well here defensively. Now a bouncer will come from the top well wide and stay with Exeter.
Yeah, just feeling it out. Not staying in circle, going right into their formations, working the corners. This is what you want to see. Hot day.
Miscommunication here. Lechner turned his head. The pass from Drunzik ends up over the 50, and the ball's over to Pinkerton.
Yeah, not quite sure what Aiden Drunzik saw there, but clearly a misplay.
This is Mason Barboni, another senior standout for Pinkerton, one of their top goal scorers, number 6 in red. Goal line extended now along the near side. Meanwhile, the ball is on the far side wing. That's for Pinkerton's Aiden Price and the senior Astros. 3 minutes gone. Pinkerton trying to strike first. Little stop and start for Jackson Morissette. Change of pace for the senior on the far wing. He's bodied up by the Exeter defender Adam Neal, one of the junior midfielders. There's a pass, backdoor, the shot just over the top, and out of play. It'll stay here.
Yeah, Coach Gaudreau already going to his second-line midfielders to keep them fresh, keep the first liners moving through, and keep the heat off.
Meanwhile, Barboni draws the slide on the restart, comes back up to the top. With room, Druin, extra pass, shot. Again, a little high. It'll stay with Pinkerton. No, it won't. Good foot race. It's won by Exeter over there in the corner. Heck of a play there. Zach Gilvar, the senior. The defender showing some speed, and now, well, Pinkerton going to set up the ride. Exeter looking to get it out of their own end on the clear. 3.5 gone by. Still no score here in quarter number 1. State semifinal, the other half of the bracket, of course, features undefeated Bishop Girton against underdog Bedford. They'll be getting underway in Bedford later on this afternoon. Meanwhile, Drunzik near side, going to swing it out. Blue Hawks showing patience. Lechner starts right, goes left. Now sliding down, gets the shot off that's knocked away. Good save by the goaltender, but Dustin drops the outlet pass. Not Dustin, rather. It was Morissette. Took his eye off the ball. Exeter in the end going to keep it down here. Good crowd here. Hot day. A lot of shorts, a lot of tank tops. Student section is back and in the crowd for both teams.
Look.
Down low. Trick shot down by the cage, ends up wide as Mantell tried to sneak one low. Another one quick side. It's Drunzik. That one whips by the goaltender and out of play.
Yeah, Mantell could have turned on that, and he could have popped that in there, but he chose just to roll his wrists and get a little backhand on there with his back to Michaud. Went wide.
By the way, Michaud, just a sophomore. In that again for Pinkerton, Curtis Michaud. Meanwhile, a hit here. Ball goes loose. Ground ball now to the far side. A good effort by Pinkerton's Cameron Leeds to try and keep that one in, but couldn't get it done.
Wow, point blank on Michaud comes up big there.
And Michaud tested early here. He stood tall. Exeter trying to crack the safe. Nearly 5 minutes in. Little give and go near side. This is Spencer Clark. Another one of these seniors and a commit to Bryant. Now Hawley, far side, takes a pretty good shot there from Leeds. Going to get rid of it. Exeter continuing to show patience. Off the screen near side. Nowhere to go for Lechner. Backdoor feed. There's the finish. It's Mantell able to catch in traffic and then ultimately release a low shot to beat Michaud and put Exeter in front 1-0.
Boy, I tell you, it was like the sun just opened up here and opened this whole side of the field up for the dodge by Lechner, and then number 6 comes right around the corner. He's wide open. There's a really well-run play there. If you're not going to skip the ball through the box, go ahead and drive it through and open up the backside.
So Jake Mantell, cash it in there, cool under pressure. Surrounded by red near the cage. Gets it done. Exeter, they jump in front 1-0. The patient possession paying off. Meanwhile, go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with this heat just what the sets are, whether or not they're going to continue to go freelance or whether they're going to just do some program sets here and run plays. Your body can't run and dodge all day long like this. It'll be interesting.
All right, face-off goes to Exeter. And again, the Blue Hawks going to wait here to set things up. Meanwhile, there's a player down for Pinkerton. That's Kyle Zern, one of their top defensemen. The junior receiving some attention along the near sideline. Something to keep an eye on as that forces Coach Gaudreau to go to the bench here early. Exeter a 1-0 lead. Here's Hawley. He's on his way to Clarkson University in the fall. Pass behind the cage. Future UMass Minuteman Drunzik. Tight bouncer won't go. Hit behind the cage. Still loose. Good job by Mantell trying to box out a man. Mantell takes a tumble. Whistle will keep it at this end.
As they brought in Ridge Crossman, number 26, for Zern. We haven't seen him play that much this year.
Yeah, they've got, meanwhile, as we look at Zern, he's got his left hand wrapped in a towel. They've jammed one of his fingers. Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. Bouncing shot goes wide. Exeter awaits the restart in the far corner. We're past the midway point. First quarter. A defensive first quarter with the Blue Hawks trying to double up this lead of 1-0.
Yeah, you'll probably see most of this happening throughout the entire game. Can't see a lot of fast break transition happening with this heat.
Hawley will be pushed out by Declan Turner, senior co-captain for Pinkerton. Trying to get a move there, far side. Mantell looks for a pass, backdoor shot, and score. Spencer Clark. Well, beat Michoud low. That one had some zip, and the senior makes it 2-0.
Yeah, it looked like Cam Leeds was not giving the type of equal pressure you want to see to a guy that's going to be feeding the ball to cutters. He should have been on a little harder there and, disrupt Jake Mantell's passing. But good cut by Clark. Made it pay.
So Clark, widely regarded as one of the best all-around athletes in the state of New Hampshire. Shows you why there. Meanwhile, Exeter continuing their early advantage at the face-off X. The long pole, Davis Nelson. Quick pass. There's the finish. It's Mantell's second. Well, nobody picked up Nelson. The defender went all the way to the cage. Short pass leads to a goal, and Exeter's out in front 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a pole and you get the face-off and the ball comes to you and no one wants to play you, you find a way to get it into that box. And luckily Jake Mantell was there. I think he probably would have taken that shot. Davis Nelson would have taken that shot if given the opportunity.
Yeah, Mantell, 2 early goals. Exeter a 3-0 lead with just inside of 5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. All 3 Blue Hawk goals, Roger, have come like that in the last 2 minutes.
They have, and this is a well-used, timely timeout by Coach Gaudreau. You cannot have this happen and have the game get away from you this soon, especially when they seem to be controlling the ball well. There's not a lot of pressing out on the defense. That probably is going to change here really quick.
A good afternoon for lacrosse for now. Again, thunderstorms expected to roll in the late afternoon. That may or may not put our second game in jeopardy. That, of course, the Division I Girls Championship, which was originally scheduled for 7 o'clock. We will carry that live on the FDS network. And, they moved this game time up this morning from 4 to 3 o'clock Eastern. So right now, still hot, humid temperatures, I think in the mid-90s at this point. The humidity makes it feel even warmer. And as we know, Roger, that can affect things down there on the field.
Yeah, we said it on Saturday at the Bedford-Sauhegan game. I think it dramatically changes your whole attitude mentally. Hopefully we won't see the same kind of rain delay we saw in Bedford, which was almost 90 minutes, and have teams come out flat. But I got to tell you, man, you don't want to burn out this early in the game, and hopefully you can just pace yourself a little better and keep hydrated and make it last.
Meanwhile, a good crowd again on hand. The turnout is strong as expected as things seemingly start getting back to normal. That includes the large tournament crowd sizes, and we're happy to see it. Ground ball off the face-off to Pinkerton. Roger, they needed that one. They get it.
They did. And Cole Frank, we've talked about him all season long with the bum left knee. He looks a little slower than he has been all season, so I hope that's not going to affect his game over the long run. But, yeah, we're 2-2 on face-off, so, hey, he's doing his part out there.
Frank, just a freshman, has been outstanding in year number 1 for Coach Gaudreau.
And Clark hasn't seen a face-off yet. It's all been number 13, Jonathan Bunnell. Long pole to boot.
Pinkerton with Michael Uber coming near side. His pass high over the head of Barboni and turned over. Well, not what Coach Gaudreau was hoping for coming out of a timeout.
No. They needed a good long possession there. Coming up on, 4 minutes here. Would have been nice to see them do something there. I'm sure he wanted that.
Blue Hawks clear it without incident and now settle in as we move inside of 4 minutes first quarter. 3-0 is the Exeter lead. Action over here in front of the near sideline. And now they try to get Clark in space. Attacks Turner right side. Keeps it now behind the cage after the switch. Second man comes over. Pass taken by Drunzik. Spin move. Ball out of his stick and into the hands of Pinkerton. For a moment, Michoud lost it and then finished off by Exeter. It's Gavin Lechner. Able to stay with it. Comes up with a gift and cashes in 4-0 home team.
Yeah, Spencer Clark goes on that dodge. He goes hot and heavy down that alley. He gets slid to by Declan Turner, and both defenders stay with him going back to X, leaving the backside open. And that first shot got stopped, but the rebound didn't get controlled, and that's where Gavin Lechner got right there and popped it in. They got to do a better job down there.
So Gavin Lechner makes it 4-0. Meanwhile, Pinkerton wins their second straight faceoff. Here's their star, Hunter Druin. Senior on the move. Backdoor feed, shot and score. El Druin able to drop it down after drawing the attention. Barboni left open on the doorstep for Pinkerton's first goal.
Hey, when you need something to happen on this Astros team, you got to start with number one. Hunter Druin gets this ball around the 35-yard line and just turns it on and gets to the other side of the field, fakes a left-handed shot, gets a little quick face dodge, and then he goes right into Barbone, and that's just what this Astro team needed to get a little jump start.
See if they can get Frank going as well. The youngster has won 2 in a row at the face-off X. Facing Clark this time. Clark trying to use his feet there to advance the ball. Still loose far side. Still loose after an empty scoop attempt from Ridge Crossman. And finally, Pinkerton able to secure it as Colby Gagnon ends up with it in the end. The junior short-handed there for the Astros.
Yeah,
Pinkerton. Go ahead, Roger.
No, that was Spencer Clark's first face-off, and he clearly won that face-off. He won the clamp and the pop, but couldn't get control.
Using that size to his advantage, the senior. He's also one of the football standouts for Exeter. Druin trying to find a man in a crowd. That was Gagnon. This one turned over in the far corner.
Yeah, kind of a lazy feed there by Hunter. We usually see him in motion, not feet planted, and he usually gives a pretty good laser pass. Not
Coming up
time.
on 2 minutes remaining. Exeter with a 4-1 lead. They've had consistent success on the clear so far. They do so there as well. Jackson Hale able to cross over along the near side.
Yeah, Pinkerton's in a drop ride. They're bringing 3-4 class.
Meanwhile, the other Lechner, Hayden, senior, got a step but passed on the shot. Exeter's been very patient here in this first quarter. Hawley near side, looking for room, going to fire. Had Turner on his right hip. That ends up well wide out of play far side. It'll stay with Exeter.
Now, one of the things having the lead of this type this early allows you to do on offense is really kind of pass the perimeter. And if they're not going to get – now they're starting to press out. You see they're coming out on the midfielders up top here. That's Jackson Morissette.
Spin, shot, score. Jackson Hale, the future Franklin Pierce Raven. Boy, Coach Senator has got a player headed his way. Good placement there. Exeter back out in front by 4, 5-1.
Yeah, as I'm kind of rifling through the description there, one of the things you got to do if you're going to press out that far outside the box, you got to make sure everything down home is being covered, and clearly they lost sight of Hale.
Hale now the 4th different Blue Hawk to score. Senior Jake Mantell leads the pack with 2. Exeter a 5-1 lead on the board. They scored the game's first 4. Pinkerton, meanwhile, has won now 4 in a row at the X. As the freshman Cole Frank seemingly nice and warm now as we head towards the final minute of this first quarter. Astros, NHIAA Division I champions in 2019, 2018, and 10 other times under head coach Brian O'Reilly, who is here, by the way. Shot, score! Wow! Took an interesting bounce, went almost straight up over the shoulder And just inside that crossbar, that's Riley Spellman, who has been known to get hot and score in bunches. He scores here with inside of a minute remaining. Pinkerton trims the lead to 5-2.
Yeah, I was thinking in the back of my mind when we were going to talk about the keys to the game about Spellman. Spellman is he had 4 goals in the earlier season game that we did here.
Yep.
And I think he had a run of 3 or 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
In less than 2 minutes.
And that's the first he's even touched the ball today. So give him a hand.
And I'm sure Coach Hawley remembers that and wants to limit his touches. Frank, meanwhile, wins a 5th straight. This one via the whistle. It's okay with Pinkerton. They'll settle in here. A chance to cut the gap to maybe 2 here.
So
what do you think? Settle in for 1 as we approach 30 seconds.
Oh,
now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Spellman going nowhere here in a hurry.
Well, they're going to just hold it and let him make a drive here.
Yep.
Watch for Hunter and watch for Barbone. Barbone behind.
The defender is Gilvar, the long pole. Nice pass, shot, and score. There's the pass you were talking about. Ryan Lynch, the sophomore, got hit on the release. A flag is down as well, so a penalty appears to be on the way against Exeter.
Yeah, late hit, a little bit under the chin. Let's see who the number is. That looks like number 4, Yuli Ellis, maybe. Got to sit this one out? Yeah. Yep.
Well, Ellis, we know he plays a physical brand of lacrosse, one of the football stars for Coach Ball in the fall. He was a little too rough there for the officials' taste. That's the first penalty either way, and it comes here with just inside of 18 seconds to go first quarter.
Yeah, unnecessary roughness. That's Tim McCaffrey. He is the lead referee here today. They don't get those calls wrong. That was clearly a good call, and watch for either team to possess and hold here.
Well, Frank's on a roll for Pinkerton, his 6th straight face-off win.
Hold.
Astros going to hold it here. They want possession to begin the second quarter, and they're going to run out the final seconds here. Turner going to keep it away from Clark, and that will do it. A good start for Exeter, although Pinkerton will begin period number 2 on the EMO. We're right back to Bill Ball Stadium in just a moment. You are watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Semifinal right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
All right, back here for quarter number 2. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. State semifinals, boys, Division I. The winner goes on to Saturday's championship game, where they will face either Bishop Girton or Bedford. Cardinals and Bulldogs meeting in Bedford later this afternoon. Exeter here on their home field with a 5-3 lead. However, Pinkerton has scored the last 2, and the Astros will begin man up to begin the second quarter.
Yeah, and give them credit for coming through on that face-off with about 14 seconds left in the first. This is just the scenario you want to see. No face-off to start the second quarter. They'll immediately go into probably their 30-second offense, I would think. That way, if they miss on the first try, they've got a little bit of extra time to run it again and see what they can do. That game that we did back at Astro Stadium, it was a very cold, windy, I wouldn't call it blustery day, but the second quarter was key for Pinkerton in that game. That was the quarter that Spellman scored 4 straight. and got them to a 6-6 tie before the half, or at the end of the half. Let's see if they can do that again here.
Good crowd, hot day. Student bodies for both schools turning out. And that is what we have been missing here the last 15 or so months. Good to see back here after no lacrosse, of course, in 2020.
It's been a pleasure. It really has to hear live voices.
Yeah. Yeah, they're energized. And again, the folks have turned out here for both teams. All right. On the EMO, Pinkerton, after there was only one penalty called either way, and it came in the final seconds there of the first quarter, trying to get back within one. Exeter scored the first 4 goals of the game and led at 1.5-1 before Pinkerton cashed in twice in the final minute. Here's a shot from the wing that ends up wide. That came out quickly out of the stick of Hunter Druin.
Yeah, big wind-up there, about 7 yards out, and he doesn't normally miss from there.
Yeah, Druin, who scored the first 3 goals against Exeter. Right? Or no, against Londonderry, excuse me, in one of those regular season meetings, the one in Pinkerton that we did a few weeks back. He can score in bunches.
Try again, and he misses again.
Yep, outside.
They'll be bringing it in from the back side here. Barbone, this penalty is about to expire, which it has.
Barbone driven out towards that far corner. That's the defender, Roger Smythe. One of the defenders here with his eye on Barbone. Now up top. Stutter step. Druin. Nowhere to go. Good defense by the long pole for Exeter, Davis Nelson. They try a look from the other side. Now back up top for Spellman.
Now they rotate.
This is Gallo. Back for Druin. Nelson hacking at him. Backdoor feed. Shot and score. That's goal number 2 for Ryan Lynch. Somehow that pass gets through the zone, and Lynch takes care of it for Pinkerton.
Yeah, I think that was a set play. Spellman, Druin almost disguising a 2-man game up top, and then allowing the offside midfielders to pack the crease, leaving the far side attackman wide open, because you didn't see Druin or Spellman really make an attempt to get to the cage, and it opened up that backside with the cluster they had in the middle. Good play. I like that. I'm going to watch that.
3 unanswered now by Pinkerton. The last 2 have been scored by sophomore attackman Ryan Lynch. Another win for Pinkerton at the face-off X. Well, that's the freshman Cole Frank. Still on the field for the moment. Frank a pass far side for Druin, and he'll trot off to the sideline. Frank lost, I think, the first 2 or 3.
He did.
To begin the game, and he's now won, 6 or so, 7 in a row, I think.
I have 7-2 on the count, and Spencer Clark was the only one that really came through on a dominant, clamp and win, but they ended up losing possession.
Pinkerton trying to tie the game for the first time since the game was scoreless. Barbone with Ellis on him. Druin casually trotting here near side, looking for a cutter. Now trying to shake off the defender, Nelson. To the far side, draws the slide, gets hit. Manages a shot anyway. That ends up wide. He's headed to Colgate. One of those player names that when you bring up a team, the first player that usually comes to mind is Hunter Druin.
True, and good swat here.
It's loose. Still loose, and now Exeter has it. Good play by Jonathan Bunnell, one of those big-body defensemen. Senior near side, and Bunnell takes a tumble. A timeout is called by Exeter. Blue Hawks will keep it. First timeout called by the home team. Comes with nearly 3 minutes gone by in this second quarter. Pinkerton, again, within 1 at 5-4.
Yeah, and that's a good timeout. Good place to let your defense rest a little bit. give your offense a set play, or maybe get into a set formation and maybe keep this ball out of Pinkerton's hands and kind of squelch the little bit of a run and momentum they got going here. One little comment I wanted to tag along with what you were just talking about, Hunter Druin, and his ascension to Colgate. He is going to be an offensive guy. There's no question about it. He's going to Colgate to add to their offense, perhaps, and this is probably more my opinion, but a little bit of educated research on my part. But a guy like Nathan Levine, who was going to Syracuse, Riley Lawhorn, who we saw on Saturday, and we've seen several times, the midfielder from Sauhegan.
Headed to UMass Lowell.
He's going to UMass Lowell, another Division I program. Word has it that those guys are probably going to be turned into defensive midfielders because of their size. Okay, Riley Lawhorn, he's got offensive prowess. He can put the ball in the net when he wants at this level. Levine, we've seen him do pretty much anything he wants. In the Wyndham games against certain teams.
Sure.
But Druin's a different specimen. He's all offense, and he can go on the attack side or on the midfield side. They can rotate him anywhere they need him to go.
All right, Exeter will come out of the timeout and look to clear this out of their own end. It'll be Clark standing just off the sideline here on the near side in front of the Pinkerton bench. Clark, one of 4 different Exeter goal scorers. Mantell leads the bunch with 2. While Ryan Lynch, the high man for Pinkerton, with 2 goals. No problem for the Blue Hawks. Trying to score for the first time in this second quarter. The last goal came with 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Here's Connor Hawley. Spoke to him on Sunday. Talked a little bit about his teammates, particularly his fellow seniors, how long they've played together, how getting to the state championship has always been the goal. And for this group, to get the semifinal win on their home field, I'd imagine, Roger, would be special in its own right as well.
Oh, absolutely! It's a great feeling to be here, hear the fans, and have that to think about later on.
And while Mantell sneaks a shot, looks like over the right shoulder of Michaud for the goal. Not quite sure the sophomore between the pipes expected that one as it kind of floated in chest high for goal number 6 for Exeter.
Yeah, that was a seeing eye shot. That went through about 3 different people, including some Exeter guys, and he found that slot. It was almost like I think what I'll do right now is shoot, and there it is.
So that's Mantell's 3rd.
Yeah. And he also has an assist on the second goal for Spencer Clark.
Meanwhile, Frank, another face-off win for Pinkerton. Outlet pass pushed into the zone by Druin. He'll pump the brakes. Now goes back door. Ellis plows over the target. That was Ryan Lynch. Astro fans here in the crowd wanted a penalty. Instead, Barboni going to force a loose ball here near side. Exeter trying to stick with it as Bunnell has it. Bunnell trying to fight off Barboni. A whistle, and now a timeout is called by Coach Hawley.
Well, that'll be his second of the half, so he's used everything that's allotted to them. I don't know, but Bunnell had control of that, and he had his goaltender and a far side defender to loop that ball over field to. They could have cleared that in my mind easily, but then again, we're up here, we're looking down on the whole thing, and he's looking down the sidelines and seeing the possibility his team was going to lose possession.
Yeah,
there.
plus I think he liked the fact that his club had just come up with a stop, right? You don't want to hand it right back to Pinkerton after working to take it away.
Indeed.
All right.
Yep.
We take a look at this crowd. Again, a good one here. One of the better venues really in the state, whether you're talking lacrosse, whether you're talking football, or what have you. Fans turning out for this early start, originally scheduled for 4 o'clock. They moved it up due to weather concerns, with thunderstorms supposedly moving in later on this afternoon. We hope that does not affect the start time between Pinkerton and BG on the girls' side is the D1 championship game scheduled to be played here in Exeter tonight at 7 o'clock. So we will keep an eye and maybe get you a weather report coming up at halftime. We are approaching the midway point here in this second quarter. Exeter, they've never trailed. They scored the first 4 goals of the game. Jake Mantell, Spencer Clark, another for Mantell, and then Gavin Lechner. That forced Pinkerton to call a timeout. Astros got on the board with Mason Barboni. Exeter answered with Jackson Hale. That made it 5-1. Then Pinkerton went on a run, bridging the first and second quarters with the 3 unanswered goals. Riley Spellman, 2 by Ryan Lynch, brought Pinkerton within 1 at 5-4. The latest goal, the 3rd for Mantell of Exeter, has given the home team this current 6-4 advantage.
Yeah, and what can you say about Jackson Mantell? I mean, lighting it up here in the first half. Spencer Clark's going to start off with the ball here on the defensive side, though. Let's get back to action.
As he gets a full head of steam, draws 4 defenders, trying to find Drunzik with a short pass along that far sideline. That ball ends up out of bounds. So the Pinkerton ride really for the first time, Roger, causing the Blue Hawks a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and that was the first time they passed the ball over the 50-yard line rather than run it through the gaps between the wings.
Pinkerton really sold out, bringing 4 guys over there to try and bottle up Clark, and I guess it worked. Meanwhile, Michoud going to cross the 50 himself, the Pinkerton goaltender. Wow. Now Lynch bails him out. Far side, Druin, backdoor, Morissette, shot and score. That's not Morissette, that's Michael Uber, the sophomore. One of their leading scorers during the regular season, frees himself up near the cage. Druin unselfishly able to find him near the net.
This guy, Hunter Druin, he has got an IQ that is off the charts when it comes to lacrosse. He drew way outside at the top of the box 2 midfielders that left Uber kind of just sitting there looking at his watch, waiting to see when the pass was going to show up. And that was just an easy pick and play by the Astros there. Well done.
Pinkerton, one advantage they have had consistently in this first half is the face-off X. With the freshman Cole Frank dominating whoever he's faced. He'll take on Jonathan Bunnell here at the 7-minute mark and come away with another victory for the Astros. He's been very good really all season long, including in this first half.
Yeah, he has, and this is still one of the keys to the game. How long do you keep Spencer Clark out of the face-off X before you pop him in there? It is only a 1-goal game, but he is consistently giving them possession, which could pay off in the heat here for sure.
Meanwhile, Druin draws the push, secures the possession for Pinkerton. Astros again with a chance to tie. They have trailed since they gave up the first goal of the game. Uber on the near side. Getting hacked at by the defender, Matt Campfield. Campfield ultimately draws the sophomore out. Morissette takes a low pass here on the near side. Crouched down is Adam Neal, the defender. Short stick trying to get at him. Morissette got inside of him. Instead dishes it off behind the cage for Barboni, who's going to drift towards that far side corner. Change course, come back near side. We'll move inside of 6 minutes.
Love this formation, 1-4.
Morissette well high on that shot from 15 yards out.
1-4, and it looks like they're going to try and just rotate wings in and then pop the other side. So let's see what they do here. Now they come out of it.
Defender Neal. They come all the way out here. One-on-one, shoulder to shoulder here.
This is a 1-4 from the side wing.
Pass, Barboni. Couldn't get it. It's loose. Ellis charging in for Exeter. In the end, though, it's the Astros' Aiden Price on the ground ball. Druin swings it back near side for Morissette. This time looking. There he is, behind the cage.
Nice.
Wraparound shot is wide.
Watch this set again, Nick. 1-4-1, but it's being run from the wing, not from the top. And they're getting a sneak from the backside.
Good hustle by Morissette. Sacrificed the body to win the foot race. Keep it with Pinkerton.
You bring more set off, and you put Smellman back on.
We're going to switch spots here. Spellman going to drift far side, near side. Here's Drew, and he likes that angle. Shot, though, ends up again high. Is that something you do, Roger? Maybe try to put your shooters in different spots based on what's happened so far in the game?
Absolutely. And this is something we haven't seen a lot of this year. We haven't seen a lot of experienced teams go into set patterns of player positioning on the field. It's been more freelance.
It's a lengthy possession for Pinkerton.
There it is.
Pass across the zone and then off the crossbar.
He's offsides.
This one loose, and there's the whistle. It goes back to Pinkerton.
Huge play here, Nick.
The offsides gets it right back to the Astros. Hunter Druin still looking for his first goal for Pinkerton. Almost at it there, an inch or so off. By the way, that thing rocketed off the cage, went all the way to the 50-yard line. Had some speed to it.
Yeah, Hunter's been kept off the goal board, but he's got 3 assists, so he's figured in. He's figured in more than half of their goals.
Yeah, good players find ways to contribute.
All right, here's a Wingo play. 4 cross.
This is Gagnon. It's inside of Neal. Pass taken Barboni. Wrap around near side. Goes wide. About 6 inches or so to the left of that near side post.
I think Coach Gaudreau has said, you guys either make this set run with a goal to Barboni or I'm going to make you run sprints at halftime because they've run this play 3 times.
Backdoor. Spellman again off the crossbar. Ground ball goes immediately to the Blue Hawks' Campfield. Campfield now met just shy of midfield, and a flag is going to fly after Druin tried to jar it loose.
And they throw
this pass ends up off target, and now the whistle comes with 3 minutes, 17 seconds remaining before halftime. That puts an end to a lengthy, nearly 4-minute-long Pinkerton possession. Astros ultimately held off the board. Exeter gets the stop, they get the clear, and they draw the penalty here just outside of the 3-minute mark.
Pinkerton has got to be a little bit discouraged after that. They did nothing wrong on that long possession. They hit the pipe twice,
right,
and they missed the net twice, and they kept running that same play, and they weren't disguising anything, for the Exeter defense, and they come up dry, and and now they're sitting in the box. So. This could be a turning point, at least for the first half here.
6-5 our score. Exeter is led throughout. Coming up at halftime, we'll look back at the first half, get you some stats, some numbers. Preview the second half, of course, as well. We'll take a look at our upcoming coverage on the girls' side as well. The D1 Championship, as of now, slated to be played tonight here in Exeter at 7 o'clock. All right. Clark lets one fly.
That went off the post.
I thought so. Wasn't quite sure. It ended up out of bounds here on the near side. Giving Michoud a wake-up call. He hasn't seen much rubber in this second quarter.
No. It actually, I think it hit part of his jersey and then hit the post, believe it or not. It decelerated.
Exeter on the man up. Roger, you prefer the fast start, right, when you've got an advantage?
Yes, but normally with a 30-second. This is a minute penalty. I don't mind them filling it out a little bit.
Okay. Hale fires and misses and stay here.
Yeah, and they got good backup, so you just pump away here.
There it is. Shot and score. From a tough angle near side, Connor Hawley. The senior headed to Clarkson, pumping his fist. Exeter cashes in on the EMO, and they make Pinkerton pay. Now 7-5 in favor of the Blue Hawks.
Yeah, this is where you want to see the Astros really pick it up. The experienced seniors on this team have got to start putting this team on their back right now. A little under 3 minutes left in this game, but you're down by 2. And like I said, right before that EMO, that was a discouraging couple of minutes for them not to come up with anything.
The freshman back at it for Pinkerton. Another clear for Druin. And, going to pump the brakes right in front of Coach Gaudreau. Roll one over to Gallo, steps in off the sideline, and Pinkerton got to settle in here for the final 2:20.
All right, this is their first line midfield, which has not been complete in any part of this game that I've seen, with Spellman, Gallo, and Uber. And let's see what they can do from the top here. Maybe give Hunter Druin a little bit of rest.
Yeah, we haven't seen Uber up top much. Here he is. Sophomore gets inside of Drunzik, runs into a second defender and loses it. Spellman trying to bail him out. Ball still loose near side. Drunzik knocked around, and ultimately Exeter does end up with it. It's Zach Gilvar, the big long pull. Sweeping in to the rescue there for Exeter. He knocks down Uber, maintains possession, gets rid of it now on the far side wing. Exeter looking middle for Drunzik, shot and score. A good centering feed, and then Drunzik able to get that one off quickly. Exeter back out in front by 3 at 8-5.
Well, there was word going around that Drunzik was nursing an injury last week, was not at 100%, hasn't done a lot with the ball this game so far, but he looked just fine on that one, just fine.
Sure did. Able to catch and fire in stride for goal number 1. The junior headed to UMass. All right, minute 37 remaining. Back-to-back goals now by the Blue Hawks. A little bit of a cushion now at 8-5. Meanwhile, Frank continuing to dominate at the face-off X for Pinkerton. Quickly near side. Turner, the defender, going to fire. And that one didn't get off the launch pad as he intended. The long pole senior ends up well high and wide of the target, and it's turned over to Exeter.
That's why defenders get long poles in their hands. They always try to pick corners, and he was trying to do that. The geometry isn't the same.
A lot tougher on the release.
Much.
All right, final minute may belong here to the Blue Hawks if they choose. Although Lechner stepping on the gas, comes near side. Mantell looking for his 4th of this first half, ends up a little wide. Tried to go high. Meanwhile, the battle in the corner won by Pinkerton. That was Turner able to beat out Drunzik for the possession. Long pass up the far sideline. Good clear for Braden Bork. Junior midfielder for Pinkerton. Getting some time here late in this first half. Final 40 seconds. Astros have trailed the whole way. Trying to cut this thing back down to 2, and Coach Gaudreau is going to use his final timeout right here to try and draw up a game plan with 34 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is a good timeout. I was going to comment in between play-by-play there, these last few possessions. You can clearly see that this direct sun, this heat, is affecting both teams. There was literally no ride there by Exeter. None whatsoever on this clear. Their guys did not get back into the center between the boxes to cover up. And I wanted to say on that offensive possession by Pinkerton, Spellman, Uber's dodge looked like he was just not there with it. He just did not have any energy. And Spellman on the ground ball after losing it, he usually is gobbling that stuff up.
Well, you wonder if perhaps the heat is starting to take its toll.
Exactly my point. So this is a good timeout. Let your offense take a deep breath. All right, you're going to run a play here, and let's close this gap up. Make this a 2-goal game as you go into halftime.
Coming up, as we mentioned, we'll take a look back at that first half. Of course, big semifinal day tomorrow. Derryfield, Portsmouth getting together out on the Seacoast. Championship game in D2 on the girls' side will be played tomorrow. Of course, BG and Pinkerton still right now scheduled to go at it tonight at 7 o'clock. And hopefully the forecast improving here as we get closer to game time. We'll take a look at the weather at halftime coming up as well. Still 34 seconds remaining here. Exeter out in front 8-5. Blue Hawks at one point led 4-0 after jumping out early on top. Yet to surrender the lead after Pinkerton trimmed the gap down to 1 twice. All right, 8-5. And let's see what Coach Gaudreau has up his sleeve here for perhaps the final possession of this first half. It'll be Spellman set to put it in play on that far side, and here we go. Loops over to Morissette. Now Gallo in front of his head coach here. Coach looks at the clock, down to 20, claps his hands, 22, 20, green light time for Gallo. Shakes right, goes left. Exeter trying to steer him. Barboni fires far side, one time, shot, wide. That's the shot they wanted, I think, for Druin.
And he's missed 4 straight from that spot, which is his sweet spot.
Final 10 seconds. Exeter getting physical. Ellis puts a check on Barboni. Barboni slips 2, fires wide. Just behind the cage, out of play with 3 seconds remaining. Morissette. Pass out in front, picked off by the Exeter goaltender, and it's flung the length of the field. Ryan Tatman, the sophomore in net, able to read that one, and that will do it for the first half. Exeter, the home team, trying to get over the hump, get into the championship game for the first time in a long time, and knock out the defending champs in the process. Halfway home to doing so, 8-5 at the break.
Pinkerton needs to regroup on this. They need to come out fresh, maybe take a cold shower and just get revitalized here. We haven't seen a Pinkerton team kind of this discombobulated on their offense all season long. So hopefully they can do that. Exeter, they need to go and do the same, just get cooled off and keep doing what they're doing. Maybe clean up this face-off X a little bit.
Easier said than done. All right, we'll take a break, come back, take a look back at the first half, preview the second, take a look around the tournament as well. You are watching Friday Night Lights' coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Semifinal right here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Halftime here in Exeter. The 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Semifinal. Exeter out in front of Pinkerton by a score of 8-5. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. It's presented by Beals Insurance. Exeter came out strong. They won the game's first 2 face-offs. They scored the game's first 4 goals. Jake Mantell, Spencer Clark, another for Mantell, and then Gavin Lechner. That forced Pinkerton's hand as Coach Gaudreau called timeout about midway through that first quarter. Pinkerton responded with a goal from Mason Barboni to get on the board. Exeter's Jackson Hale, a quick answer to make it 5-1 heading into the final minute of that first quarter. That's when Pinkerton came alive. They cashed in twice in that final minute. Riley Spellman, Ryan Lynch to close the quarter on a high note. They picked up where they left off to begin the second. Lynch's second brought Pinkerton within 1 at 5-4. Jake Mantell's third for the home team gave Exeter a 6-4 lead. Michael Uber, a little over a minute later, cashed in for Pinkerton. The sophomore off a nice pass from Hunter Druin made it 6-5. But in the end, Exeter, with the EMO unit on the field, they cash in on a Pinkerton penalty inside of 3 minutes before halftime to make it 7-5. And then with $1:37 to go, UMass star Aiden Drunzik, the junior and future Minuteman, scores to make it 8-5, and that is where we are at halftime as Exeter looks to get to the championship game for the first time in a long time. Pinkerton going to have to do it from behind if the champs want to make it back to championship Saturday.
Yeah, 2 things missing quite noticeably from the Astros offense that first half. Number one, Spellman really didn't figure into much of anything offensively, where he was a dominant force in the very first game that played over at Pinkerton Stadium or Astro Stadium. Second thing is, I don't think I've seen Hunter Druin miss 4 shots in one game, never mind 4 shots in a row. And he needs to dial in and start finding that net. And then finally, I'm willing to bet you that if Cole Frank comes out and wins this face-off to start the second half, that we're going to start seeing Spencer Clark. When you're up by 3 goals, you've got that advantage of being able to put through your second line midfielders. Spencer Clark a break on the side of the ball. All offense and make it.
I think we're going to be weather-wise. The has now in at 5 o'clock, and that rain, of course, in the next hour or so. I think we'll be okay as far as the girls' championship, which is still slated for 7 o'clock later today. We'll see. All right, Cole Frank. It's been one of the highlights for the Astros. The freshman won a lot more than he lost at the face-off X in that first half. What do you got, Roger? I lost count a long time ago.
I love that you rely on me so much,
I
Nick.
do. Every game, I'm more and more dependent.
I am a math wizard now after 2 months of being with you.
Right.
11-3, Cole Frank exclusively on the face-off, so he's won 11.
Frank gets inside here, takes a whack over the shoulder by Brunel. Ultimately, it's Spellman who helps him out. Now Spellman on the move near side. Had it poked loose from behind by Gavin Lechner. Lechner on the move. Looks for a trailer. Pass taken low off the turf by Drunzik. Pulls it out of trouble. And Exeter going to restart things here.
Smart play by Drunzik there. No need to keep pushing away. You got possession. Let's reload here. Get our boys out there on the field. Fresh bodies.
Lechner near side. Take it on Dustin. One-on-one dance here on the near side wing. Trying to shake him off. Comes middle. Off the switch. Picked up well by Turner. Now it's Clark. Clark
loading.
Dustin right on his hip. Second man comes over and knocks it loose. Good play by Bork for Pinkerton. Michoud now in control in his own cage. And the Astros trying to deal with this ride with a long bouncing pass down the far sideline. Handled by the defender, Turner. Pumps the brakes. Barboni relieves him on that far wing. And now the Astros settling in on the attack for the first time in the second half.
That's a clear example of what I just said. Spencer Clark is riding on that, and he doesn't have enough energy to get over to that long pole and at least give some sort of pressure there. And now he's back on defense. It's gonna be a long afternoon if they keep doing that with Spencer Clark.
Astros going to stay patient here on trip number 1. Druin trying to dodge behind the cage. Back out. They'll swing it around. Morissette looking to go middle. Eye on the net. Backdoor feed. Dropped. Routine pass. Aiden Price took his eye off it. Senior turns it over. Exeter takes over in their own end. Short pass near side. Hayden Lecter. Kept at arm's length here by the defender, Andy McDonald. And Exeter again going to settle in for trip number 2. Just over 2 minutes gone by in this third quarter. Blue Hawks have never trailed, looking to increase the lead to 4.
Nice dodge.
Out in front, shot score. Low finish for Jake Mantell. Well, he's heading to Southern New Hampshire University. Going to keep it local. Set up shop in Manchester. Boy, the Penman getting a star in this game. He's led everybody with now 4 goals, and Exeter leads by 4.
Yeah, I got a little bird in my ear a little while ago from Coach Calkins letting us know that he did commit to Southern New Hampshire. Good to see another local boy like Chris Valentine, who went to Pinkerton a couple years ago. He's been starting on their attack over there. Great to see some homegrown talent stay close to home.
Mantell with 4 goals in this one. Exeter leads by 4. They match their largest lead from back in the first half when they led 5-1 late in the first quarter. Pinkerton staying consistent thanks to the freshman Cole Frank, who wins another face-off and gives his team another chance here on the attack. Barboni behind the cage, Druin. The defender is Nelson Davis, and the long pole has done a good job for Exeter so far. Druin draws a second man. Leaves it upstairs. Uber, far side. Gallo thought about it. Didn't quite have the room to get it off. Adam Neal is all over him. Neal, a couple of hard shoves, pushes him out of the way. Back over to Uber. A running start near side. Uber trying to free up room with his left hand. Shot off the pole. That was Drunzik. Takes a high bounce on the near sideline. Uber, the sophomore, able to keep it in. Avoids the out-of-bounds call with a nice pass to Druin. Now Gallo sends it far side for Barboni. Pinkerton trying to pick their spot wisely here with 3.5 gone by third quarter. Slide comes over. Brunel picks him up off the switch. Bouncer up top. Gallo. Neal takes a gamble. Gallo now tries to ride him left side. Spacing collapses. Barboni watches the ball loose. Barboni trying to carve out some position. Neal now in the fray as well for the Blue Hawks. Gallo comes out of the scrap heap with the ball. He's driven away, though, by Ellis. Ellis lost it. A long trip there for Pinkerton. In danger of coming away empty. Now Bunell has a man pinned on that far side at Gagnon, it seemed like, by the arm. Now Ellis, long outlet pass for Hale, in and out of his stick. Then Hale loses his stick, hit by Turner. No whistle as Druin picks it up. Druin trying to shake loose of Davis. That one is wide again and out of play.
Wow, they're wearing the defense down unbelievably here, and they've got to come up with something here. You cannot have this kind of possession and missed shots without scoring.
It's been hot all afternoon. Fatigue perhaps starting to settle in here in the second half. Temperatures in the mid-90s, and that's without counting the humidity.
Yeah, the hands are dropping. One hand on the stick, not seeing like we saw with Riley Lawhorn with the hands on his stick above his head, but clearly that's taking its toll right now.
See if Spellman can dig deep here for Pinkerton. Pass off target, far side for Morissette, who loses his balance, and Neal able to pounce on the ground ball, and now off to a foot race for Exeter right to left. Just over 5 minutes gone by in this second half. Third quarter action here in Exeter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Exeter looking to get back to the championship game for the first time in a very long time. Pinkerton, who is used to competing for the prize, in danger of not making that annual trip for the first time in a long time. So a lot on the line. It's also the third meeting of the season between these two teams. They met twice in late May, just a few weeks back. Both of those regular season games were won by Exeter, and Exeter has not trailed this afternoon, currently enjoying their largest lead as we hit the midway point third quarter.
Yeah, Exeter, it's been 11 years since they were in a final. 2010 against Bishop Girton, lost that game. And they've been in the mix, though, every single year.
Clark fires, takes a tumble.
Yeah, and I can see the Exeter bench. They're pointing towards the far side of the field. They want to get up a really long possession here. They want to give the defense a little bit of a break, run some new midfielders through there, and kind of reload here on the energy.
They survived a lengthy Pinkerton trip just moments ago. There's a shot knocked away by Michoud, still loose, and then pushed back towards the net for Michoud by his teammate Dustin. Long outlet pass for the long pole near side. That's Cam Leeds, who ran out of room. Good play at midfield by Exeter to retake it. Clark takes a well-deserved break on that Exeter sideline. Extra feed, shot by Mantell, denied. Mantell looking for his fifth goal. Michoud says no. Goaltender ends up with it. Outlet pass taken near side for Turner. We come up on the 5-minute mark here, third quarter. Trying to fight his way out of his own end is Bork. Bork loses it, trying to go back middle. Drunzik in the mix. In the end, the long pole for Pinkerton. Tony Samiotis comes up with it. Samiotis hunted down from behind here by Hayden Lechner. Skip pass taken on the near side by Gagnon. Gagnon is given some breathing room here for Pinkerton.
Yeah, neither team has got that breakaway speed to keep the ball safe. And likewise, the help's not coming in fast like it normally would be to dish off.
Druin on the screen, running shot, bouncer again, off target.
Yeah, he's just not dialed in. I don't know where that's coming from. This kid does not miss 8-9 shots in a row.
He's worked hard to even get those shots off. You got to give credit to Davis Nelson, who's been on his hip more often than not this afternoon. Meanwhile, Barboni behind the net, going to feed it far side wing. Low shot, denied. Uber with a pretty good wind-up. Now this one ends up in the sky, takes a bounce way behind the net, out of play over near the uprights.
Hey, believe it or not, Nick, that's Tatman's first save. He's handled the ball, but I haven't seen him make a save the whole game.
Haven't seen a lot of shots. Frankly, this unit has been solid out in front of him. They've limited the Pinkerton looks. And has allowed just the 5 goals so far as we creep now towards the 3-minute mark in this third quarter. Not a whole lot of stoppages. Both teams did exercise their 2 timeouts in that first half, but only, I think, 1 called penalty to this point. Nice shot, nice save. There's Tatman on cue. Tatman still trying to keep it out. Ends up on the turf and ultimately with possession. Nice play there by the sophomore under fire. Now the clear. Nelson. Middle for Lechner, fakes the pass, keeps it himself, comes up with the clear for the Blue Hawks. Lechner drawing 2 defenders. Both McDonald and the long pole, Ridge Crossman. Going to escape with the ball intact, and we move inside of 3 minutes.
I finally saw a little bit of outward pressure there on the ride, and then subsequently, after they got the touch, they swarmed on the Blue Hawks to try to get that ball back.
This is Hale. Spin move, Hale, a fire. That one deep from just inside of the 25-yard line, ends up wide. Now Mantell and Drunzik set to reclaim, or restart rather, in this near corner. 2.5 to go, third quarter. Exeter threatening to go up by 5 for the first time this afternoon. Shot, a little wide. As Clark again seemingly able to split dodge the defense there and get that one off.
Yeah, clearly both teams winding down a little bit on the energy level, not getting their hands all the way back to get full release.
Only 1 goal so far in this third quarter.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's
That's what we saw a combined 13
except-
in the first. Here's a shot in the score. It's Jake Mantell again, the future Southern New Hampshire penman. Getting his name at the top of the box score here. 5 goals now. Exeter leads by 5 for the first time at 10-5.
Well, there's one kid out there that is just not letting any of this bother him. He's having none of the weather issues or the discussion or the talk or anything that's going on around him, and he's just having a day.
Having a day is right. 5 goals. In a big spot for Exeter. One of the many seniors that have played together over the years, whether it be at the youth level, the freshman, the JV level. Meanwhile, timeout, Pinkerton. Well, they saw their young freshman face-off specialist, Cole Frank, was in a little bit of trouble near the boundary. Timeout comes from Coach Gaudreau. That's the first charge timeout here in the second half against Pinkerton. It comes with just over 2 minutes remaining. Third quarter. Hot, humid, but you can't complain. Crowds allowed to assemble. And a big crowd, I'd say close to, 75, 80% full here. 3/4 or so. A lot of folks down along the field, along the fence area. And have been here despite the game was moved up an hour. The COVID-19 situation, Roger, seemingly now in the rear view mirror, at least when you take a look at what's going on here with this crowd.
Funny thing is, today I was listening to the radio coming to work, and somebody said coronavirus. And I looked at I'm like, what the hell is the coronavirus? And it obviously, I mean, that quickly, I think it's starting to, especially in New Hampshire, I think. It's leaving everybody, and we are just, it couldn't have happened at a better time of the year when New Hampshire is just full of so many things to do, and the weather's finally, although hot, it's better than it was in December, January, and February.
Sure.
But things are just busting out everywhere. This is my thing, though. You've said it the last maybe 5 or 6 games since Governor Sununu called off the masks and allowed restaurants to open up and things like that. These crowds, they make it all the difference in the world. They really do.
Students turning out in full bore here, full gear. A lot of Pinkerton support here making their way over from Derry. And, of course, the home fans on the Exeter side have turned out in their blue and whites as well.
Unless maybe you're an athletic director and you're going to deal with more parents and more kids and things like that, like we did on Saturday. It got pretty boisterous there, but it was still fun. Mm-hmm. It was still fun to see that type of competitiveness up in the stands.
Yeah. All right, Pinkerton with inside of 2 minutes here. Got to get something going on the attack, Roger. They have not scored since late in the second quarter. In fact, their last goal was from Michael Uber at the 7:02 mark of the second quarter. So this Exeter defense has really clamped down, going on now 2 quarters. Shot by Spellman, turned aside by Tapman, and then the ground ball ends up with Bunnell. Or Bunnell. The long pole. Trying to run away from 2 Astros. And now a timeout is called by Exeter. So each head coach deciding to spend a timeout here late in this third quarter. This one comes with 1:10 to go.
Yeah, I think I like this timeout a little better than I liked Coach Gaudreau's timeout with Cole Frank and the ball there at the 50. Bunnell is Cole Frank. He's been taking literally every face-off this entire game with the exception of one by Spencer Clark, and he's been staying out there as the long pole on these long Pinkerton possessions, and I think what Coach Hawley saw there was that he made a great ground ball, had possession, was starting to lose a little bit of strength and energy in moving forward, and that to me is a good timeout here, especially with only 1:10 left in the third quarter. So they'll get that ball over half field, get a touch, and get it, hopefully a good long possession here. They're up by 5. There's no need to press the goal at this point. So I think you just kind of freshen up here and try to keep possession and play for a layup shot if you can get it.
Exeter has led throughout. Blue Hawks scored the first 4 goals. Led 5-3 after 1 and 8-5 at halftime. Out in front for the first time by 5 here at 10-5 with 1:10 remaining. Third quarter, Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. D1 semifinal. The winner plays for the trophy on Championship Saturday. The other side of the bracket, of course, is BG and Bedford. Cardinals and Bulldogs playing in Bedford later on this afternoon.
First line midfield out there for the Blue Hawks. They're going to go right at it. They're not going to take their foot off the gas here, Nick.
Coach Hawley going to keep it with his son Connor, the senior. Clears it himself. Now Drunzik takes over in the near corner. We're under a minute. Exeter a chance to really end the third quarter with an exclamation point. They have scored 4 unanswered goals, dating back to about midway through the second quarter.
No slide here.
This is a shot. Gavin Lechner got jammed up. That ball ends up on the ground. Still loose. Pinkerton's got the numbers over there on the far side. That's the long pole, Sammy Otis, who ultimately secures it. Back to the goaltender, Michaud. Pinkerton now left with about 15 seconds. McDonald
just
at his own 31-yard line. Don't want to turn it over. Far side, Sammy Otis launches a high one down the middle for Drew, and it pops out of his stick, taken away by Lechner. And with Drunzik and a fire, knocked away by Michaud, and that'll do it. Third quarter in the books. Exeter able to extend the lead. Blue Hawks out in front now 10-5 as we head down the stretch. Will the Blue Hawks find themselves in the championship for the first time in over a decade, or will the defending champions come back and shock the world? We'll find out next. You are watching coverage of our 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I semifinal here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Fourth quarter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Exeter out in front 10-5 over Pinkerton. Been a fun game to call. In the heat or not, this one's been competitive. Exeter has been in the driver's seat. And now, Roger, as the fourth quarter begins, they've got their largest lead on the board, doubling up the Astros 10-5.
Well, I was going to say something else, but my comment at the beginning of the half is coming true. You see Spencer Clark come out to the face-off circle here now. Coach Hawley clearly is not going to let this one slip away if he has anything to say about it. So he is going to limit, at least hopefully, any possessions right off the bat by Pinkerton to give them any hope of getting anything started offensively. It all starts right here on this face-off.
Pinkerton, the two-time defending champs. They won it back in 18 and 19 again.
And there it is.
They're going to have to do it from behind in this fourth quarter and on the defensive end to begin the quarter. After the switch up at X does work out for the Blue Hawks. Clark, who won one back in the first half.
And that's their first one of the second half.
Really the only Exeter player who's been effective against Cole Frank of Pinkerton. All right, if you're here, Roger, anything different from Exeter on the attack-wise with this big lead on the board?
It's a little bit early to rag it because you don't want to get the referees throwing up their arms and telling you to keep it in the box. But I would test it here. I would try and keep There's a, well,
shot, score.
Why test anything when you can put it in the back of the net?
Yeah, just a good cut. The feed on target. That's the second goal for the sophomore Gavin Lechner. Exeter beginning the fourth quarter on a high note. Less than a minute in, it's now 11-5.
Yeah, and Drunzik clearly is not 100%, as we said earlier in the game. He's not dodging from X, which is what he traditionally has been doing, sneaking on the wings, but he's making it up for Exeter with assists. He's finding openings out there. His big, lanky body is able to see over the top of these smaller Astro defenders, and he's making them pay.
Meanwhile, Frank comes back against Bunnell with the win. Barboni, quick pass across, almost a one-time for Druin. The pass from Spellman, though, does not get through. On the far side, Exeter's Matt Campfield in a sprint. And a good clear there by Campfield. The senior headed to Belmont Abbey in the fall. Roger, what do you know about Belmont Abbey?
I know they're south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's about all I know about them. Well, I read about them in Division II stuff, but not much more, I'm afraid.
Yet another commit on this squad here for Coach Hawley. Very talented group, especially these seniors. A lot of camaraderie away from the field. Been working and playing together for a long time. Trying to get to that championship game, as you mentioned earlier. Exeter had not made an appearance in the D1 championship since 2010, where they fell to Coach Cameron's BG Cardinals.
So watch Tim McCaffrey. He's the senior official here. He's on the near side at the 10-yard line. They keep the ball behind goal line extended here. Watch for him as that starts to creep down below 10 minutes for him to throw his hands up here. They got to make a move towards the goal, in other words.
A little two-man game deep behind the cage here. Pile up out in front looking for somebody to come off that curl. I think it was Clark. Turner was right behind him. They'll reverse it instead. Drunzik will fire from the wing. That one knocked away by Michoud. Another good save by the Pinkerton goaltender. The sophomore has held his own, trying to keep his club competitive. Pinkerton, however, has not been able to score here so far in the second half. Meanwhile, the outlet dropped by Dustin in Exeter territory. Then this outlet pass ends up long and still loose. Bruce Sturdivant, the senior midfielder, gets to it for Exeter, and now Sturdivant, not quite sure what to do in the corner, gets rid of it for Hale.
Well, Sturdivant has been their backup face-off guy at times this year, and that's his first shift that I've seen. But this is what you probably are going to start seeing from Coach Hawley. Get some fresh bodies out there.
Meanwhile, the Exeter bench wanted a penalty against Dustin, who, he didn't get the flag yet. There it is down there at the 15-yard line on the near side. Meanwhile, high swing pass near side. Extra pass for Lechner. Paid the price. Dustin planted him, and then another flag. Well, Dustin upset. Flags fly. The Exeter fans love it, as a penalty appears to be on the way against Pinkerton.
Going to be two here.
Yeah, two. As the officials talk here along the near side.
Going to get a late hit on Dustin.
Dustin still shaking his head, not happy. He's played physical. He's played hard.
Unnecessary roughness.
That's the second penalty of the game against Pinkerton. Have we seen one yet against Exeter?
Yes, we had one in the first quarter. It was unnecessary roughness against
that's right, the tail end of the
Ellis.
quarter. That's right.
But I'm a bit confused here. Let's see what they come out here, because they are in 6-on-5. I saw two different flags at two different times on two different infractions. So I think Pickering's actually getting away with one here.
I think they're both on Dustin, is what I think.
Yeah, I only saw one motion, though. Maybe he did end up getting two. So let's see what the mark is around, 8:25 when the clock started?
Yeah, it came at about 8:30 or so. So we'll keep an eye on things. Either way, not good news for Pinkerton. Trying to come back down 6 goals as the clock's starting to become a factor here. Already 4 minutes gone by. Fourth quarter. The two-time defending champs in some trouble.
This is a tough call here for the officials. I mean, you're man up here, and you're not even trying to get to the goal. What do you do in a situation like this?
Do you have an obligation if you're man up?
I think you do. I don't think the game changes just because you got a man down or a man up situation. But there's some gamesmanship going on here, too.
Meanwhile, Turner knocks it away from the sophomore, Lechner. However, Lechner ends up with it after a four-man pileup. Blue Hawks going to keep it. Hawley took that high pass and brought it in safely. Now Lechner drops to a knee, plays it off the chest, throws it back out top for Spencer Clark.
Yeah, so there was clearly 2 flags on Dustin there because he's still in the box.
Yep, and it's been a minute.
And I must have missed a 2-minute by referee Peroni, but both were unnecessary roughness.
Exeter still has not taken a shot here on the EMO. And I think that's just fine with Coach Hawley as they continue to move it around the perimeter. Drunzik now will take a sweeping shot. Goaltender was out of the cage.
He didn't even really make a motion like he was going to rip one there.
Right.
He just kind of dribbled it in. But you know what? This is tactical as well for the Blue Hawks.
Yeah,
they're getting a rest here, and they can close this game out if they have fresh bodies by the 6:25 mark.
Right. That was what I was getting at in terms of if you have to make a play on the goal. Here's a play at midfield. It turns into a shot on the run that's denied. Campfield had his eye on it. Michaud lost it, and the ball rolls across the goal line for another Blue Hawk goal. Michaud trying to plead his case to the official. Exeter celebrates, and it looks like this goal is going to stand. Michaud still up in arms in net for Pinkerton.
Yeah, he has nothing to complain about there. If he had control of that and was trying to rake back on the clear, then that would have been an argument. But at this point, he was looking behind the ball into the net. That's clearly a goal.
So who scored it?
19.
Okay. I wasn't sure if a player touched it after that or not. So
yeah,
Campfield, the long stick midi headed to Belmont Abbey. The senior makes it now 12-5 as we head towards the midway point, fourth quarter. Another whistle here. Meanwhile, we're back to even strength. Exeter back with it. And Clark will put it in play and cross midfield. So Exeter, was that an EMO goal, Roger?
I would call that an EMO goal
because
I didn't see him released.
Right. It was before 2 minutes. So that's the second EMO goal of the game for Exeter. They scored one in the final minutes before halftime as well. 12-5, a 7-goal lead on the board for the first time. Exeter's run has been now 5-6 unanswered, dating back to midway through the second quarter. Exeter defense has been outstanding. Meanwhile, they've protected the ball very well so far in this fourth quarter as well. As Hale running away from Bork, now bringing Bork to that far side.
There's the keep it in, Nick.
There's
far
the
side.
Call from the official, yep. So what is the rule now? They have to stay within that box?
Yep, one. Even if they step on the line of the box and the end line.
The maroon box here for our viewers and our amateurs watching at home.
That should be a whistle. It is.
There it is. Yep, pushed outside the box. Good defense. That's Pinkerton's Declan Conroy, the senior, making a good play on the ball to force the Exeter turnover.
Yeah, so again, although the officials have rotated here, head official McCaffrey on the far side threw his hands up there. He'll make these calls.
Inside of 5 minutes now, fourth quarter. Pinkerton has to hurry. Spellman looks for Barboni, the cutter. That pass broken up.
In the crease.
And a Pinkerton player stepped where he should not have. Back over to Exeter. A quick restart, a quick outlet. Far side, Sturdivant with a straight sprint, left to right, down that far sideline. Comes up with the clear for Exeter. And now again, it's a game of keep away. A big game of keep away here. As we head towards 4.5 to go. Now they're trying to double the ball when they can, it seems like. Goaltender as well has been very liberal, coming way out of that net, as he is here on Hayden Lechner. Lechner behind the cage. Still got Conroy all over his hip. There's Mantell. as influential as anybody today, Roger, for Exeter. He's the game's high scorer. He gets his helmet knocked off here. A flag flies.
I think
There's
that was
two different Astros took a shot upstairs at him. Conroy and Turner both involved on the play, and that helmet went flying.
I think it was pretty incidental, though. Yeah. Oh no, he came up on him.
Upstairs. That's I think against Conroy.
Yeah, cross check.
Made a good play a moment ago to force the turnover, but going to pick up a locked penalty here. So perhaps frustration here. The fact that Pinkerton forced into taking some gambles over the final 4 minutes, and Roger, these are the kind of things that can happen. Another Pinkerton penalty.
Yeah, and it's all about fatigue. It's been that way since the first quarter. It's surprising to me to see a Pinkerton team that is traditionally, year after year, a very athletic, fast-moving team, well-skilled team, and to see a lot of that just kind of fizzle away here due to the fatigue factor that is related to this heat is really a little bit of a shock, in all honesty. I mean, you don't see their offensive prowess just dwindle away by missing nets like Druin has. Spellman hasn't looked the same today. Uber hasn't looked the same today. And even the defense, that they've done their part, I think, for the most part, defensively on the long pole end, but they've been out there so long with some of these long possessions that, you can't ask much more of them. So I don't know what else they can do at this point with 4 minutes left in the game, but, we saw Riley Spellman put 4 in what? Did we count like 90 seconds or something like that, Nick, at Astro Stadium that day? They'd be within striking distance if they could do that, here again.
Yeah. Oh, a lot's going to have to go right. We know that. Just 4:05 to go and a 7-goal gap. Pinkerton has not scored since the 7:02 mark in the second quarter. Exeter led 8-5 at halftime and have not looked back, widening the gap now to 12-5.
But there's also getting back to what they were doing there with the doubling up and trying to get the ball back. There are some coaches out there that do not believe in doubling the ball because you just don't get the same type of coverage, and you lack any type of adjacent lock-off for that person with the ball to make a play. So, I'm not one of them. I like to see a doubling of the ball, but you've got to teach it a little better and a little more aggressively than what you saw out there. But when you're tired, that's when cross-checks and slashes happen.
Yeah. Well, tough to do it against a good team, too.
Indeed.
It's one thing to do it against an average team where you can force some turnovers, etc. But in a team that won a lot of games in the regular season, used to closing teams out, used to being in this kind of a position, it's a whole nother thing. And right now, Exeter, as we've seen really all quarter long, done a great job protecting this lead, protecting the ball, and running down this clock.
Yeah, we're coming up on almost a full minute for them, not even making an attempt to get to the cage. But again, they're
on the
man
EMO.
up. They're on the EMO, exactly. Yep. You can see one of the other officials, Rick Wilhelmi, down below talking to the Pinkerton player there, Declan Conroy, who's in the box, letting him know, he ain't going anywhere until there's a stoppage in play because it was a locked penalty.
Inside of 3 minutes. Exeter continuing to run down this clock, not interested in producing a shot. As Drunzik over there in the far corner draws the goaltender out of the net.
This is one of the reasons why in collegiate lacrosse they came up with the 80-second shot clock. There were a lot of close games where some of these D1 strengths, not just D1 strength. I don't mean to defame D2, D3, but that games could have gotten closer by forcing shots and forcing offenses. High schools just aren't set up for that, and I don't know if they ever will be. But this is something you rarely, if ever, will see in a collegiate game nowadays.
Love to see a shot clock in high school basketball as well.
Another
flag here.
Another flag.
Inside of 2 minutes, Pinkerton has been heavily penalized, repeatedly penalized in this fourth quarter.
This may be on number 28, Cam Leeds up at the top there. Might be as simple as an interference.
Stop it here.
Yeah. It's just a procedure penalty here. Just probably blocking him off.
Minute 44 remaining. Meanwhile, some of those dark storm clouds we were fearing now starting to appear from over the horizon. I think we'll get this one in without a problem. But the thunderstorms, I think, are on the way. They may or may not impact the scheduled start time of the girls' D1 championship, which you can hear on nfhs.org. We'll have that call for you, myself, Kristen Cameron. If they start at 7 o'clock, that's where you need to turn in.
I can't remember a time when a D1 final was on the same day as the semifinals of the boys.
Or at the same place.
Or at the same venue, yeah. I've been doing this a while, and I can't recall that ever happening.
Well, the COVID-19 situation has provided a lot of firsts.
Corona.
You should have called up the radio station and corrected that DJ.
I know. Made me think of a cold beverage. It didn't make me think of being masked up for 18 months.
Final 60 seconds here at Eustis Field. The home team has led throughout, never trailing this afternoon. They beat Pinkerton in both regular season meetings. And Exeter, after a decade-long drought, is going to be back in the championship game on Saturday, where they will take on the winner of either BG or Bedford. Trying to put the finishing touch on this one as we hit the 30-second mark. Well, Coach Hawley wanted to make sure his guys not only protect the ball, but no need to run up the score here. Right, Roger, either. No need to take a shot in this spot, if not for anything else but respect for that Pinkerton opponent.
Yeah, he's played this whole half of lacrosse very, very well, very tactical with his timeouts, and he's earned triple zeros on the clock right now.
That's going to do it. Exeter on their way to the championship for the first time since 2010. Coach Jerry Hawley celebrating with his guys. Coach Gaudreau and Pinkerton, they come up short in the semifinal and ultimately see their season end after going 0-3 against the Exeter Blue Hawks. We'll be back to talk about it in just a moment. You're watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I semifinal here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Well, a great wire-to-wire performance by Exeter in this one. They win it 12-5. They beat Pinkerton for the third time this season. Third time in the last, 3 weeks or so?
3 weeks.
They get it done. They jump out 4-0. They led at halftime 8-5, and they shut out Pinkerton in the second half and end the game on a 6-0 run. 12-5 again is the final. It's the first time that Exeter has advanced to the championship round since way back in 2010.
I can't remember a Pinkerton game where I either was a spectator, a broadcaster, or a coach where I saw them shut out in an entire half. Have never.
Yeah.
I'm racking my brain to try and remember that. This game, I think, really boiled down to the fatigue factor, and Exeter just appeared to be more prepared for the heat. Their game plan was really not any different than it was during the season. And all I've heard throughout NHIAA, no matter what division we're talking about, because of this crazy COVID schedule that they put out with a lot of home-at-homes, is how difficult it is for a team to beat another quality team 3 times. We know that it can be done. And it happened today, and Exeter played a very, very nearly flawless game. 1 penalty the entire game, and they spread their offense out like they normally do. Drunzik was at maybe, I would say, 75%, and they didn't win the face-off battle. 15-5, they lost the face-off battle.
And still won the game.
Handily. So, give it to their defense and their athleticism on staying sharp with this heat.
Now, let's take a look quickly at the bracket here. We mentioned the other semifinal taking place in Bedford, I think right now. That was, I believe, a 5 o'clock.
No, that's a 7 o'clock start.
Oh, it's tonight. Okay. That'll be BG in Bedford tonight, as we mentioned. Well, Pinkerton, they took care of Londonderry in the quarters, as you can see. Bedford, they advanced via the win over Souhegan 14-6. And then again, Bedford takes on BG after they, for whatever reason, scrambled up the matchups in the semifinals. Exeter, they beat Dover, as we remember, back on Saturday, no problem, 16-3. And BG via the 18-4 win over South. They get in to face Bedford. Roger, your final thoughts here. Exeter, again, a dominating 12-5 win.
Well, Exeter has got some time off, as the other Division I team that will be in the finals will. Hope that this heat's going to die down. They're going to have some good practices. They, too, have lost 2 games to BG.
Right.
So just like
the only losses
games
for Exeter during the regular season.
Exactly.
Against BG, right.
Exactly. We know that a team can win when they put their mind to it, like Exeter did today. No matter who comes out of that game tonight, the finals on Saturday will be a good game.
Yeah. I want to thank Bill Ball, the athletic director here at Exeter High, giving us the green light. We appreciate that. Of course, the director, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios, the man behind the curtain, doing a good job as usual tonight. The man in the crow's nest, behind the lens, John Barron, our chief engineer and top videographer, doing a great job as usual. The executive producer of Friday Night Lights, the big man in the big chair, is Steve Beals, doing some spot duty for us here in the booth this afternoon. We appreciate
Longer in Florida, where it's cooler down there than it is up here.
How often can you say that? Not often. For my partner, Roger Howe, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long. Final score, final time, Exeter 12, Pinkerton 5. This has been a presentation of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Semifinals here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.